As you will be able to tell by the series of videos that will be produced from this particular day, I have been doing that absolute most. Dehydrated, not thirsty. There's a difference. I cooked most of the kale, except for this. Juiced the stems, made Mr.'s cabbage juice, lemon verbena tea, and the kitchen is a pigsty, hence the convenient tilt upward that I'm filming from right now. I can neither cook nor wash dishes nor anything else in the kitchen without making a big ass mess. This container for the gelato twist cap. I have no business looking for a way to keep this. Mister, don't call me the cap queen for nothing. The first place I even ever heard of gelato was Shark Tank. But it made me curious about what kind of ice cream, not ice cream, that's supposed to be so amazingly delicious, right? I wanted to taste it and see what it was about. So, oh, and FYI, it was delicious, but it was just as delicious as any ice cream would be. So if anything is more favorable to you in terms of health, if you see one more beneficial than the other, and you know that you can't stop yourself from having ice cream, then this is a delicious option. I won't even say alternative because it's just like ice cream. Really good ice cream. And it comes in this twist cap jar container that I don't need to be keeping and putting in the dishwasher like I'm going to do right now. We'll be glad I have that for some reason. Remember this bad boy? Corn salad leaf. Look how little that thing is. That thing is not gonna make a salad for me. I mean, did I plant them too close together? Because if this is it, boo-boo, no ma'am. But let me taste that. It was instantly bitter, and then it was somewhat sweet, but not. I guess that makes it bittersweet. Why was I going to take another bite of that? And you know, I've had this problem with most of my salad leaf this season. So I don't know if it's just that it's been too hot for your salad leaf to come up tasting fresh and light and stuff, but it hasn't been a happy salad season except for spinach when it was cold. And now I'm testing to see if calaloo will stand the cold, but I probably said that somewhere earlier in the video when I was out there chopping down kale trees like Paula Bunyan or something. I harvested the last of my ready cilantro, used it in the enchiladas this evening. You guys have seen this before with me. It's not quite as pretty as it's gonna be because toward the end is where I ladle sauce and sprinkle cheese and cut green onions across there. And then on top of the cheese for color, I add some opal basil. Several calaloo leaves. Because when I tried it in my eggs, I had two really big. I had two leaves, each one that was the size of both of these. It was probably bigger than this. Yeah, I have like 4 of these for eggs in the morning. I actually could stand to put more than that in there. I'm gonna make it look like it looked when my mama made me some poke salad. Yes. What you know about that?
No, you're in dish film.
I didn't tell you guys about that because I didn't. You know how when you go home to your country people and you put in a food request for your mommy? Well, my food request was I wanted poke salad because they have poke salad growing all over the place. I wanted poke salad, and I remember when I was young and my mother would put poke salad in the eggs. It was so delicious. I didn't even eat greens the way she did. You know, your mama gets some greens and cornbread and sop up the pot liquor and go to town. Focus. So yeah. So when I went, I asked her to make me some eggs with poke salad in it. Frankly, it was more poke salad than eggs, which is okay because the whole beauty of it was for me to have memory triggers with that flavor. And I don't know if you remember, but when I went to my sister's house, she had a poke salad plant. She said it pops up all over the place. So I got a cutting from there and I brought it home and tried to grow it. I didn't want to grow it in the yard because I didn't want it to get out of hand. So I tried to grow it inside and it didn't really work out, which was fine because my whole life I never did realize about my mom making the poke salad is the rule is you have to like boil it 3 times and then fry it and then boil it and do it for X amount of time, and if you don't, you'll poison yourself. No, ma'am. I'm not interested in taking the chance because I don't know that I know what I'm doing when it comes to poke salad. Having said all that, and coming back to this bad boy is comparable to poke salad in your eggs. Better even. When I was working in DC for months, every morning I would go to the Jamaican patty stand and I would get one of those Jamaican patties that had calaloo, yes ma'am, calaloo in it with feta cheese. Those it's not like a tortilla or a pita. It's a pastry patty. Frankly, I haven't seen any videos. I haven't been looking either. But I have been looking for calaloo, and I don't see very many calaloo videos. There are several, but I don't see very many calaloo videos. Plant or cooking or otherwise. So, maybe that'll be my niche. I'll be the calaloo queen. Really, everything I do and say can be my niche because I am of the unpopular opinion. 98.93% of the time. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say, okay, obviously this is my new favorite green of all time. This is the GOAT of greens, okay? So not only is it comparable in taste to the greens that I love the most, it far surpasses any other greens that and spinach included. It far surpasses in taste and flavor and texture because bok choy has a mild flavor, but that texture can be a beast to cook with, you know. And then after you do cook it, it can get not stringy, but the texture can get in your teeth more easily than a lot of other greens. But this stuff is delicious. It's dynamite. You don't have to worry about boiling and frying it 800 times to avoid poisoning yourself because it can be eaten raw too. I'll get to that in a minute. In cooking it, okay, because you know we cook our greens forever and 3 days. I eat them raw too, but we cook our greens like, you know how you don't want to overcook your little kale and it's still green when you get through and a little tough and a little strong flavored, strong green flavor. We don't do that. We cook the hell out of our greens and they cook forever so they can be tender. That's the beauty of it. Tender. And if If you don't cook it that far, it's not going to be as tender. That is not to say I don't eat raw greens, because you all know, you've seen me make a collard wrap, a raw collard wrap, rather than pita. Use collard. But I'm going to try it with this because the few videos that I did see on calaloo, they were saying how it's not all that pleasing raw. I started to say it's not that bad, but yeah, you're gonna want to cook it. But when you cook it, it's gonna be all she wrote. I want this year round. I could eat this every day. You don't know how good this is. And you don't have to put a bunch of stuff in it. A bunch of other vegetables and stuff. You literally can take olive oil and garlic and sprinkle a little salt, and it's a done deal with calaloo. But you don't hear me though. The Jamaicans been sitting on this food. They've been sitting on it. Just not sharing, not telling us, you know. Y'all know tourists go to Jamaica and think they balling out with their little mahi-mahis. My island girl, you should have told people. You know what, never mind, because I knew years ago, but I wasn't gardening then, in my defense. But I've been gardening for 5 years, and I don't know why it never occurred to me. Well, gardening is a learning process. I was learning about what's good indoors, outdoors, in the heat, in the cold. I was learning a lot of stuff. So the Spirit has spoken. It wasn't time for me to do it until now. But, you know, after I had that first batch of this, after I ate that first batch of this, I was so mad at myself for pulling all of them and thinking they were weeds and then forget. But at least I did forget. The spirits are aligned. At least I did keep that last one and look at it and be like, that looks like something I'm supposed to have. I'm mad at the person that sold me the seeds because they sent it to me in a little bitty ass piece of paper. I'm gonna show you what kind of fuckery. It was like this, but it was 1/4 of this. Just 1/4. And the seeds were inside. Like say this, see how this is folded over? The seeds were inside. Like I said, 1/4 of this. It wasn't this actual thing, but this is the smallest thing I could find. 1/4 of this with the seeds inside and tape around it. Okay, so when I went to cut the end, to cut the tape off to get the seeds, all the seeds were in jeopardy. Half of them were stuck to the tape. Yeah, because he just had this, you know, and the tape was sealing these ends, just tape. So I cut the tape, but half the seeds had gotten stuck to the tape. Who does that? Lucky for you, I'm of the opinion that unless you have a farm, you don't need to use all the seeds that you actually get in a packet. But I paid for all those seeds, 50 of them. That is soon to change because I have cuttings trying to start all over the place. I have some indoors. I have some outdoors to see how it's going to behave in the cold. Some indoors to see how it's going to behave under these conditions. Some outdoors to see how it's going to behave in the cold. And God bless next year when it gets hot enough for me to just go to town. Because these are all the greens I'm going to have. I'm going to have them all over the place. I'm going to have maybe 2 kale plants, maybe 2 collard plants, and a ton, you hear me, a ton of calaloo. It's all kinds of delicious. I'm going to have to check the nutrient value. Because if it upstages, I know you guys are convinced that kale is the ish, but who says kale is any better than collards or turnips or mustards, or who says kale is any better than any other green? Just because a group of people convinced you that kale is the new it. Kale tastes green as hell, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not delicious. This is literally delicious. And oh, that's another thing I might have skipped over. I might have included already, but that's another thing I was gonna say. It only takes a few minutes to cook this up. You cook this up in, like I said, I have it in my eggs, except that I don't have to go through the trouble that my mom would have to go through with poke salad. So it cooks up as fast as eggs cook up. And to be fair, I put this in before I put the eggs in, because these are my new favorite greens, y'all. My hair is still up because I know I haven't posted the spider video, but even before that happened, when I go outside and mess around in the garden, I wrap my hair up because I don't need critters nesting and thinking it's a nice place for their new homestead. These are my greens. I'm actually gonna put, you can see my red peppers in there. Stuck my foot in it all the way up to the kneecaps. But I'm gonna put it in a bag and freeze it because I'm going to take it to the in-laws for Mr.'s birthday celebration next weekend. Because all of us need to be eating more healthy. Greens only, some foods just reek unless you eat them, and then they're just delicious.
Oh,
huh?
Okay.
Huh?
She crazy?
When I heard you come down, I turned it off.
You turned it off?
Yeah.
On?
Off. So I just turned it back on, actually.
You turned it on?
I turned it off when I heard you coming downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Because in case you want to come naked, but I know you want people to see your nakedness anyway.
No, I thought something.
Come on over here.
No.
Come on. Give the people what they want.
No. I thought something was wrong with you.
Something wrong with me? What if I was on the phone now? I couldn't be on the phone?
You don't talk that soft on the phone.
Oh!
You talk really loud on the phone. But you were talking like you was having a normal conversation with somebody.
I am.
Well, now I see that.
Look, them 10 people.
So I'm like, should I go down there now while she talking? Or should I wait? See how this turn out.
You ready to eat? Just about.
Sure.
Did you do your... Where you going now? You leaving me?
Yeah.
Come on, give the people a little bit. Give them a little taste.
No.
Give them a little
A
taste.
little taste of what?
All of that. All of that. That ain't enough food.
Sure know how to tear a kitchen up.
I do. I already said that. I already called myself out. Matter of fact,
you didn't do too bad this time.
I didn't, but I've done worse. But I still did my thing. I was just saying. I had not just, but I had said I was like, hint the kitchen's a mess. Hence my conveniently angled upward in this video, so nobody can see all of this.
I was in the middle of something. I just thought I'd make sure you wasn't crazy.
What you in the middle of? You ain't in the middle of nothing.
I'm getting educated.
What you getting educated on?
Don't worry about it.
Are you doing your knee exercises?
I'm doing it right now, going up the stairs.
Lies. We've already started eating, but here was the final product. I started to show you what I did as opposed to just tell you, but you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So, like I said, I sprinkled some mozzarella, some more sauce, mozzarella, green onions, and opal basil. I did put the opal basil on top of the mozzarella, just so you could see the color change happen. It just occurred to me that y'all might not believe that those are my enchiladas because the foil is too clean. I know, right? In a way, I guess I was kind of embarrassed for me to throw it away though, but I didn't want y'all to see that I overcooked. Y'all is blackened enchiladas now. I actually like the crunch that it gives the enchiladas. And plus you can pick it up like that. Can you hear that crunch? It gives it a cute little crunch.